Hey, hey.
Hey.
We're back again.
Yes.
Baseball Moms, episode 1,622.
Oh.
Take one. No. I just always wanted to do that, so.
Yes.
I'm living out my dreams here, right?
You are. I like your baseball mom hoodie. I'm going to get that.
I know. I got to get some more. It's just, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was repping in Indy in it.
You were?
Yeah, so fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Aw.
Good times.
Yes. That's a cute one.
How have you
That's
been?
Good. Baseball just ended for us.
Are you
Fall
sad
ball.
or happy?
You know, I think it's kind of bittersweet, because you go from watching them into March through now. I mean, we have a little break in the summer, but I always get a little sad. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think, okay, the holidays around the corner and things get a little busy in the winter, So it's, yeah, I mean, I'm more sad, but I'm glad that the boys have a break because I think that's important.
Yes, it's important. I think they need it. I always feel the
Yes.
same way. I get sad. Used to be, so this will be an adjustment because Reed was in 8th grade last year. So like we played basketball, like we had other things. So I was excited. I was like, oh, weather controlled sport for a bit. And I love basketball. I know you do.
Yeah.
And so this year will be different. Only having them do off season, working out, training. But they do. Their bodies, their minds, all of it needs a break.
Yeah.
So
Reed's
I think
not
it's
playing
good.
hoops.
I don't know. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
going to try out for
Yeah.
freshman team or not. He has not made that decision.
Yeah.
So
But hey, they'll be
don't
busy
know.
enough with baseball. I mean, baseball takes a lot of time in the off season.
it does.
Takes a lot of time in the in season.
Heck yes.
So we can just dedicate a little bit more time to baseball,
Yeah.
huh? If you
And
don't
family
play-
time, right?
And family, of course.
Family.
And family. So you ready to get on the show about
Yes,
heckling?
we are. So we talked about this before. For those of you that watch each of our episodes, you know that we kind of sometimes, shocker, get off on a tangent and go other places, and we have to reel ourselves in. So one of those tangents was on heckling and how we understand that a little bit of razzing makes sense, and that's just what to expect with sports, but I think sometimes there's that fine line. So we did say we were going to dedicate one
Heck
of our
yeah.
shows to some
Let's do
chatting
it.
about heckling, our thoughts on it, where we feel like it starts to cross a line, where it's healthy kind of razzing and all that good stuff. So
That's great.
Yeah.
You don't have any notes. You're just going to go off the cuff, huh?
that's how I roll.
That's how you roll. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's terrific, Jenny. I just did I did write some stuff down, but, and then I even kind of Googled some stuff. And I guess, so, I don't know. What's your personal opinion on it? I think it's fine between, like, teammates. And if you're playing against, say, like, you're in high school ball and you're playing against one of your summer ball teammates and you give each other a little trouble
Right.
back and forth. I think that's cute. I think that's fine. I think where I draw the line is when parents get involved and they're yelling at other kids on the other team or okay, I don't know how you feel about this, but it seems like it happens more to me. Well, it happens both in summer ball and high school ball, but the ones that the loud kids in the dugouts losing their voices over.
Nothing.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
we played this one team twice over the summer. In fact, their St. Louis team, we played them in Cincinnati. You drive that far and you play a
Right.
St. Louis team. And then we played them again this after Cincinnati. I mean, in one of our local tournaments. And they were the same way. They're just chirpy. They yell things out. And it's not even nice stuff. It's, they're harassing our boy, like saying stuff, especially if you're the pitcher. And I swear, one kid just had this loud voice, and same kid, I mean, he has to lose his voice after every game. And I get it. Like, I get cheering for your team. I totally understand that. I think that's kind of a lost art in some ways. But I don't understand the constant heckling of the other team. I just don't get that. And to me, I did write this. If you're wasting all your time heckling and trying to distract the other team, to lose focus, what does that mean you're focused on? Because it's not the game or your performance you're focused on. You're focused on getting them rattled. And I just don't see how that can be in the same world if you're trying to perform and heckle somebody. I mean, distract somebody else. I think that takes away from your focus, personally. What do you think?
Well, and that's the thing. I find it odd. Like, there is a fine line. Like, I get sometimes always afraid of you if, like, they're pitching around someone. This, like, just normal, not so bad. But I have played teams. There's one organization in general that they're known for this. And honestly, I wish I had a video. Like, I sometimes am in awe. Like, they're climbing halfway up the fence, rattling,
what in the
shaking.
world?
And I'm like, I don't. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the green screen. Like, it's the Twilight Zone or something. I'm like, are we in a baseball game or is this like
how is this allowed?
strange? Yeah. So like that is odd. I also feel like same thing. Like I get, you want to give a little bit of trouble or a little bit of smack talk or whatever.
Sure.
Good competitive, like what that's fine. But we played a team in the summer and they were from Chicago, and some of the things out of their mouths and out of the parents' mouth. Let's put it this way. I've been a probation and parole officer for 26 and a half years. I've heard a few things.
Maybe just
seen a few things.
Sure.
I've read a few things. I go inside prisons, and it made my cheeks a little red. Like, and I am not by no. And some of the things they were saying, I was like, oh my, like.
Yeah.
And it's strange that it's allowed. It's strange that a coach would not be like,
well, that's my thing. I don't
that's
get that.
odd.
That's very odd to me. Our coaches don't allow it, for sure. At least in, I guess I'm just thinking summer ball because it's been more recent. Like that, they're not allowed to act like that at all. Not that our boys would, but I think if I were a coach, I don't know, you're retiring and you're going to be going to be a baseball coach, a third base coach. You're not going to be calling anybody on third base line. If you're the third base coach and your boys were hollering in the dugout, would you allow that? Like hollering like belligerent stuff.
No.
I don't know.
And it's funny because exactly what you were talking to earlier about teammates, or maybe you played on a team and you do a little trash talk, you're on base, they're playing that base, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like good, healthy.
That's cute, yeah.
But sometimes it is. And sometimes it's so frustrating, like when you're trying to watch the game and you've got that kid that never shuts up.
It's probably not
the entire time, like never. And you're just like, oh my gosh, how do your parents tolerate you? Because I've only been here an hour and a half with you and I'm about to pull my hair out. Like, dude, like, have some sunflower seeds or something. Do something.
Put some gum in your mouth.
Put something
You're
in
not
there.
allowed
Yes,
to,
sometimes I'm not going to lie, they get on my last nerve.
Oh, yeah. Now, have you ever heckled or yelled? I'm just asking.
I'm sure, to be honest, I'm going to be honest, I'm sure at some point I've crossed a line. We live, we learn. There are things that, I had to train myself. Like, I didn't know I'd be living this baseball mom life.
Right?
So, there are things that I've done that I will say, yep, guilty of it, but you learn, you move on, you don't do it, or you call yourself out, or I am not perfect. But
of course,
I don't think as the years have gone on, and this I've kind of learned, because I'm embarrassed for the people, the families, that do. So when you see that, you're just like, bless your heart.
Oh my gosh,
Bless
I
your
love
heart,
that. Yes.
So
because I don't want to sound like judgmental, and obviously my opinion isn't end all be all for sure. But I don't know. I am old school, and I just don't think that's the right way to play. For me, and I'm glad that Cooper's part of teams that's not allowed. Because who wants to look like that?
I know. I would love to ask coaches. I wish that
we should phone
someone
in
would
coach right
drop
now.
some comments, tell us. I want to know coaches' point of view, if they could care less.
They're
going
gonna
to
be like, Jenny and
them, they don't
Tiffani,
know.
you're so uptight.
Yeah, I would
Probably
love to know.
we are. I'm first to admit I'm very uptight about stuff, and I wish I was more like relaxed. But stuff like that, no, my kids aren't gonna be doing that stuff. They're not gonna be putting people down, or making, Yeah.
And I have learned through the years, and I think there's a meme that goes around social media, something to effect, but it is true that your desire to beat a team sometimes is based on how annoying the kids,
Oh
the
my
team,
gosh.
the coaches, and the other
Yes.
parents are, that they really, that's one of those where you're like, oh, you just want to see a good game, but then you just want to win just because you want them to zip it. Like,
Yeah.
it makes you want to beat them more just because
Yes.
they're super annoying.
I do think that karma just naturally has a way of getting people, and the teams that are like that, normally I would think are on the losing end, because you're not focused, in my opinion. You're not focused, But anyway, Jenny, I did some research.
Give me some research.
Yes,
The
so
teacher in you, I love it.
yes, it's so funny. I was doing this. I kind of Googled something like, is heckling the other team ever? Well, I Googled something. I don't remember what I Googled. Something about heckling. And then I found this article. It says, is heckling the other team ever okay? And it's by Hustle Training, whoever that must not be a name. That must be. What a cool name to name your kid, Hustle. What if they turned out lazy? Okay, anyway, so this is probably, Hustle Training's probably a website or something. So a couple of things I highlighted. I'm not going to go through the whole 11-page thing, but I highlighted some things, and it says when players heckle other players, it is considered bad sportsmanship. But not all people agree with that. So there is a reason that it's been, okay, and so 17 years ago, the hey, batter, batter thing, that little chant, that was banned by the Little League in cities like Cincinnati. So there's been a handful of cities around the country that have banned that stuff and heckling. But most people find it unsportsmanlike, So I just thought, sorry, and here's another one. They're talking about the spectators. Like, it went on from how the teams heckle each other and then spectators. I think you and I have already covered that ground when there's, like, adults yelling at other kids. Or kind of like going back to our umpire show when, like, adults were screaming at umpires. I think it goes the same when you're yelling at other kids. I haven't seen anybody yell at our kids lately, ever, like an adult. I haven't seen that. I've seen coaches yell at other coaches yell at umpires, coaches yell at their kids, other fans yell at the umpires, but no one. Have you had that type of situation?
I actually have, and I have.
Oh no.
I have seen grown men yelling at a pitcher. That he ain't nothing. He ain't. And you're like, I don't know. I just find it like I don't even know how you would even think that that's okay. We actually played a game against a rival school in our district, and I don't understand how the umps did not put a kibosh on this, but the players were coming out of the dugout and talking trash to our team that was on the field. Like, just...
What?
Yeah, and they also do things which I think are absolutely unsportsmanlike. It's not necessarily heckling, but I think it falls in the category. They do some dumb crap like when they get a hit. It's not even a home run or they'll get a hit, and then the players will come out of the dugout and stand, and the other player comes up and rolls a ball, and then they act like they're bowling pins. This is high school. One of their little nonsense tomfoolery things they do is same thing they do. These are hits even, not a home run, not a, like, you got a hit. Like, okay.
That must be big for them, Jenny, if they're getting
Well, that's what I said. I was like, have you never been here before? Like, is this? But they go and they do a basketball hoop, like they shoot a hoop and this, that, and then they all do, like something weird. And I'm like, what's happening here? Like, it's...
Just like on a hit
bizarre.
or like a single?
Yeah.
Like a routine single.
And the umps never say anything. The coaches allow it. Their spectators think it's funny. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm embarrassed for you. Like, you look ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
They have a lot of time.
I'll tell you the team off. Yeah.
Hey, give me the tea, Jenny.
Yeah, I'll give you the
tea. I guess
So,
something like
that's odd,
that.
right?
Well, I mean, that's very kind of, that's different. I guess something like that doesn't bother me as much as if they were like yelling at your team, though. Well, were they?
Well, they did, and
yeah,
actually,
never
there
mind.
were. I want to say it was the girls' soccer team that was there, cheering. The other teams, and they had a bullhorn, and were yelling annoying things through that. And then we
See, that should
have
have been stopped, though.
a kiddo that was a freshman that played, and they talked about his height. I mean, he's small. He was he's a freshman.
He's a
He was
freshman.
little, and they were yelling through that horn, making fun of it. I mean,
no.
I've
And this
seen
is high
some
school, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say because my husband's a principal. Like in that instance, there should be an administrator telling them to.
I wrote a letter to the
Oh,
athletic director
course you did.
and to the principal.
I don't know why I even doubted
filled
that.
them in on everything. And
Oh, good.
Some like
But someone should have been like an administrator. You would think would be there.
they eventually, I
correct?
think that the
tell 'em
superintendent
to-
went over and asked him to put the bullhorn down.
Oh,
But,
good. I don't think that should be allowed at any game, any sporting event. A
yeah,
bullhorn.
yeah.
Holy cow!
My
I just
husband
don't find
said,
that very.
Jeff's like, he's like, they're not going to do anything. He's like, why even waste your time? And I was like, if everybody saw these kinds and just said, I'm never going to say anything, nothing would ever change.
Nothing would
So,
ever. Did you hear back from the school district?
they did actually reply to me.
Okay, good. Well, at least you got a reply.
So that was good. I don't know how much good. I don't know how much of it was the standard.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate
that.
this,
Bless your
Mrs.
heart.
Maybe yes.
But
Bless your heart.
Yeah, bless
Jenny.
your heart for being so sensitive.
We
I'm sure
really
is what they
don't
were
care.
thinking. But I did, and
I'm
it
glad.
made me feel good.
It made you feel good because you stuck up for something.
Hey,
that
I'm a
was wrong.
taxpayer in that school district.
Yes.
And it's
Oh, I know who it
embarrassing.
is now.
So,
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you did that.
yeah.
And I told you about that. I mean, I'm not going to rehash this, but I told you about the time Cooper's gotten heckled and I about lost my, but I didn't. I mean, well, I kind of, but I said something. Yeah, I just don't get, like, Cooper was up at bat and this shortstop was yelling things from shortstop at him. Like, I mean, he was playing up, so I can think at the time Cooper was a freshman and he was playing a sophomore team or an older team in the summertime subbing. And calling him freshman, but he said a couple choice words that were not nice, and by not nice I mean like cussing at him, and yeah, I didn't really appreciate that. There's a fine line. Like I feel like I'm a mama bear. I'm not the type of mama bear though that like, I mean, I can say this because my kids don't get in trouble at school, but if there was ever a phone call home, like I'm not the type of parent that would be like, that's not my kid, I'd listen to what they said, and of course that we would discipline our children, if that were to happen, but if it's something like you're watching it happen and there's a kid like yelling at your kid, like saying awful things to him while he's up, off of a bat anywhere like that, that's when I think I would lose it. And I didn't go postal. I didn't do anything crazy, but I was sitting real close to the shortstop and the third baseman, and no one was around me. And it was this big, the big stadium I said that we played in, and I said something. I said, hey, that's just not nice. I was like, you leave him alone.
Well, it's funny because I think that's one of the things that I've grown. Like, and that is one of the areas because I would be so, like, ready to
Fire off.
Yeah.
And
I've learned more as time that, people are who they are.
Yeah,
And
right.
exactly that. They have to look at themselves in the mirror. And I truly do believe in karma as well. And my kids, I feel like, have a lot thicker skin. They've learned. So I am better. But I will say those first few years as I was learning, like, the ins and outs of this whole
Yeah.
baseball mom life, people would mess with my kids, and I'd be like, I will rock an orange jumpsuit and a heartbeat for my kids. So,
I love that.
but I'm better now. I'm much better. I always realize that
Yeah.
sometimes
Well,
it's better just to let them do their thing.
Do their thing. And it's one of those things where, it didn't, Cooper heard it when he was up at bat. I think he thought it was more funny and it didn't bother him. Cooper can roll things off his back. Not so much me when you're like protective of your kids, you know what I mean? Either one of them. But since we're talking about baseball, it's more about Cooper. Scout doesn't play baseball. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot of probably maturing and
And I think you
just
get a
not
little bit
stooping to
thicker
their
skin
level.
as you've gone through it for years. You've seen so
Yeah.
many things that you're like, okay,
And,
you know.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say as we get ready to wrap up, I know that this is not heckling. However, I feel like it should be for me personally when I go to watch kids play and I'm sitting there and the other team is over 9U and they play walk-up songs.
Oh my God.
That is like heckling me because I can't take it. So that's how I'm going to wrap this up is
I almost texted you. I was at a baseball game last night where my 10-year-old student, I went and watched him play, and all around there's like 11U, 10U, and there's a 9U, and all three diamonds, and they were all playing walk-up music. I'm like, I should text Jenny right now. I think it is cute at that age. I see
It's fine.
I see your issue with it, but come spring, Cooper's high school team does it, so I'm like,
I think some of the high school teams, and I get because and I know college, but I don't know.
does college do it?
Don't they, some of them?
I'm sure some of them do. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't watch enough.
Just
of
my
that.
opinion.
But Major League players do it.
I know.
You don't like it?
It's fine.
You don't like it at a Cardinal game?
It's fine.
either?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
They're
Everything's
playing
fine.
Drop It Like It's Hot. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
All right, we're
Don't
wrapping this
heckle.
up. That's our deal on heckling. We
Have
don't
some-
like it. We don't understand it.
Have some class.
If you're doing it, grow up, okay? That's my soapbox for the day. And with that,
I got you, Jenny.
we're going to get ready to roll off here. But if you want to grab one of these,
Prime Sports,
Prime
Midwest.
Sports, go
Oh,
ahead.
wait, we don't go there, though.
Youth Baseball Midwest.com.
friend
Look for
Drew?
the shop, the merch, and you can grab yours. And
Sounds good.
Until
Great.
next time, keep those heckling to yourself.
Yes. Bye.